Rule the levels in the game with hardcore rivals in their weaponry tactics to know their powers with an extra speed of smashing harder. Want to quickly travel into the future? The bosses in this game are special since some of them may be completely avoided. You've always been curious about how the scaling works, why certain enemies are stronger than others. There will be NPCs, bosses, and optional bosses on the list, and it'll comprise of the formula for this top 12 list. Let's go! One of your foes who can take the greatest damage from you is the robot Minotaur. Like all robots, the Minotaur had a weakness to shock damage, but despite that, it had one of the highest health bars of any NPC, if not the highest. As a result, it felt like you were punching a bag to earn experience points for your skill. The fact that they are not a common enemy is unfortunate because their weapons are smart-linked MK3 cannons with the potential to deal burn damage to you. Here, some of the gigs at Valentino's are close to a third party and contain tech rifles, melee DPs, and an overall strong variation of crossfire. Tinos, who would quickly jump into the battle. They are without a doubt the most aggressive corporation group, making them enjoyable to battle in the kata game. They are strong and have fascinating lore, which brings us to our conclusion. It's wonderful that Araska Corporation has a sizable arsenal of robots and warriors combined. I believe that the narrative has appropriate foes for V, who is supported by certain scale epic tank weapons and the epic XP bag of the Minotaur. They truly outperform Raves and are on par with Valentino's for the reason that they outperform Valentino's, absorb your damage, and engage in lengthy, furious battles throughout the game. As a result, they are not powerful, but should also not be taken lightly indeed. Leo Alma, the Juror, and Chase Conley, a sideways cycle with the Militech battle armor, are both vehicles. They both have powerful beam weapons and are extremely tacky, even though your Leo is said to be stronger now that he has been found in the Badlands. Since they are the only two cyber cycles in this battlesuit, I currently have both of them in the same. Because they shield whenever they reload their beams, they are more challenging to kill than a Minotaur robot. They have various damage-dealing simple shots, rapid shots, log shots, and semi-explosive beams that are tough when hit in the ground. Tier tanks above mid-tier DPs are very slow and not as difficult to kill. The Phantom thinks Norio Akahama, a melee-based cybermaniac, to be the most depraved cyber psycho in the entire game. He is not very outstanding in terms of skill, but he has strong melee damage output and more than mid-tier speed up his sleeve, so you have to fight him twice. He uses a flash to break up the fight, and you continue fighting while being surrounded by gang members. I wanted to commend Norio for being a strong opponent, which is rare for cyber psychopaths. Atom Smasher sends in reinforcements mid-battle, including one sniper assault soldier and users of Mantis Blades. Mark III HMG sentry guns and the punishing bag Minotaur were planted by a miner for Atom's DPs. He has a hand cannon that deals monster damage, a mortar launcher that is a cool attack, and he has enough damage to kill you, but his attack speed is slower than that of regular GAM goons. We have a senile top-tier tank with mid-tier speed and difficulty that isn't even mid-tier, and while his abilities are spectacular, you can always flee from them. All things considered, the fight is chaotic and exciting, but when you fight him correctly, he's simply too powerful. Militech is among the best when it comes to heavily loaded damage in addition to having the most potent weapons. They have some sentry cannons set up that can fire you HMG bullets, causing you to stagger in the fights, and in addition to the point of the gigs, they can withstand much damage from you. There isn't much more to say to fully illustrate that they are the best. Mark II robot with a middle attack. This Mark II is scaled differently depending on where you fight them, something not everyone is aware of. For beginners, these are super robots who frequently hang about Militech in the city center and carry either the DSI Pulsar or the Ajax. They move and cover more quickly than human NPCs while dealing the same amount of damage as humans, but when it comes to ability, they have a higher chance of not staggering when you use a melee attack. Therefore, when you kill them, they'll explode in the range of the EMP, and the blast from the EMP will essentially kill you in a single shot. It's fair to argue that every boss battle in the main quest line is overrated and underwhelming, but if I had to choose one to be remembered, it would be Oda. When he loses his sword or health, he can superhero land with strobe lights, automatic blasters, and firearms that can disguise themselves. By the way, his trick is to combine his nearly elite melee DPs with a 100 crit chance whenever you're at full health. High-level speed capabilities, he kills you more quickly than any other smasher, and I want to give him credit for the cool arena that the chamber where you face him has aside. Oda is a true samurai who is superior to many of the game's foes and thus merits expulsion. You will come across some strange and intriguing white knights that go by the moniker of Trauma Team if you ever visit the city for amusement. They're typically spotted and have an appearance with light green and white stripes. At all times, they are accompanied by at least 3 troops. They are intended to be operatives because it's their responsibility to save lives. But one thing that makes them challenging is that they're constantly armed to an epic level. You'll be killed by the person carrying a DB Cooper before you can blink. With these considerations, I view them as the ideal troops who are better equipped to serve as bodyguards than lifesavers. Many people believe that the Brag Rhino is one of the game's top damage-dealing bosses and is optional in the questline to beat the Brag Rhino, since she actually creates the impression that you should either attack her or attempt to eliminate her together with all the animals inside the structure. She can kill you without even using a combo because of her quick running, ability to avoid attacks, and superhuman landing. She eats the face of the tank with a K-crit. She is an almost one-shot DP's mid-tier speed top-tier tank and a truly top-tier character, and she is deserving of position number 2. What could be more RP giving you less time to respond if you had a weapon that could nearly kill you in 2 seconds? The answer is that the number 1 threat is MaxTac soldiers. The game's most optional NPC, they can easily deliver harm by outpacing you while scoping. When they see you, you basically only have 3 to 4 options for dealing with them. Use a grenade to stun them, kill them quickly, or simply flee. These men are both cool and horrifying, and they'll remind you of what players can do in no game by upgrading their weapons till they can kill with 1 shot while using slow motion. With this, we end today while hoping that this video engaged you. Before you leave, comment to tell us while subscribing to our channel and roll the key to hit the bell icon to get notified from us for upcoming videos. See you all next time. Adios!